Everyone's looking at them.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know we were going, but I guess we're going.
Live.
I'm Jim Check with Lyndon Dias. We're here with TD Benefits, our segment, our regular segment, and myth busting. We're going to myth bust all of these myths out there about employee benefits. One of them being like, well, I mean, we're a small firm. Well, we don't offer benefits. That's only for big companies, right?
Yeah, that's just something we see, and it's good to hit these myths and let them know, hey, well, there's questions and answers we have to these, right?
Yeah.
So a big one is you deal with businesses. You look at the Okanagan, it's dominated by small businesses. 98%
All
of
of
the
Canada.
98% of the companies in the central Okanagan really
Yeah.
50 or fewer employees, and a very large amount of those
That holds
businesses.
true right across Canada, really.
It really does, but the 3 to 9 or 3 to 10 employee businesses is what dominates, right? Those small companies, and a lot of the time they say, well, we don't want to offer benefits because we're not a big organization or business, and what we deal with, those are the organizations that are putting benefits in place more commonly now, right? Because they don't want to lose their staff. They don't want
It's
to
a
have
hell
that
of a
turnover.
retention thing, right? I mean, I know
For
from
sure.
the hiring we do, most of the time that's the first question they get asked. Do you have benefits?
Yeah, exactly. That is
Especially
one of the
if they have
first
a family,
questions.
right?
Yeah.
If they have a family, maybe some young people that.
And most importantly, just letting them know, hey, well, benefits aren't just for big organizations. They're for small organizations. They're not too expensive. That's another misconception or a myth. Well, they're too expensive, or I don't have enough staff, or all
I
these
can't
things
afford
are.
it.
Yeah, really, it's not. When you're looking down and you're breaking it down the pricing and seeing what can be done. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options that accommodate these companies so that they can offer benefits to those staff.
And make sure you let your employees know the total cost of compensation too when they're asking for a raise. Well, here's the total cost of compensation. It's your salary plus your benefits, and
Hmm.
so that they're aware, right? Because some people are saying like, "Hey, you said I was going to get this much," and then where's this tax thing? This tax thing is not like,
Well,
talk to the government.
the benefits play a huge part of that, and you can further incentivize that by enhancing the plan or throwing a health spending account in lieu of a raise, right? That $1,000 per year that an employee can put towards what's most important to them, which is saving them money, right?
And
But
they're using pre-tax dollars to get benefits as opposed to paying like if you don't have benefits and then you go to an RMT, you're using tax dollars to pay for
exactly.
that. Whereas if you have it through a benefits plan, you're using pre-tax dollars, or actually you're using out of the benefit plan because there's no taxation that's applied. It's
Yeah, which
actually
is
a write-off for the company.
which can be extremely important to the employees, right?
Yeah.
And just bridging back to these companies, I mean, you'd see a lot of businesses too that are 1 or 2 person organizations, partners, 3-person businesses where you can offer them benefits too, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there's not.
Or even it's beneficial to them because again, if you go to so let's take an RMT, and we'll just say it's $100. I know it's more an hour.
Yeah,
And if you pay it out of your personal pocket, that's $100. But then if you're at the 40% tax bracket, that's really $140, right?
Mhm.
That's your real cost because you've had to pay tax on that before you got out there. But if you paid it through the company, those are pre-tax dollars, so
Mhm.
it's less than too, because you're only using 100 pre-tax dollars to pay for that,
No, definitely. And with the benefit plan, the premiums
and it gets written off
are tax
in the
deductible.
company, right?
Yeah, so any extended health and dental premiums paid for by the business can write off. And of course, that's when co-pay arrangements come in with staff and everything like that. But yeah, the importance of those 1 and 2-person businesses being able to offer benefits is huge because they just think the organizations or carriers want to deal with the companies with several employees, which is wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's educating those companies to know that if you want to look at a benefit plan, we're more than happy to help you. You know, we have lots of options available to you. The chamber plan, of course, being one. We're the exclusive provider of that in this region. But there's definitely options available to you, and these myths and misconceptions that you hear, there's easy ways to deke around
And
those.
there's some benefits in there that aren't even that expensive that offer some really good protection. Like there's a little bit of life insurance in there, some critical illness lots of times.
Yeah, those
And
and you can customize it. Like you
yeah,
want
and those
disability
tend
in
not
there.
to be that expensive, but then you can offer that at least some type of coverage for life insurance
Yeah.
and critical illness.
There's going to be a mandatory life insurance portion commonly in benefit plans, right? But the disability can be, something you add in addition to extended
Mhm.
health and dental.
Yeah.
But there's parts of the plan that are just built into extended health, like travel insurance, right? A lot of people when they go on their vacations, they're getting individual travel insurance policies. When you set up a group plan, it's just embedded into
Yeah.
that. So it's nice to go on your trip to Mexico or Hawaii or wherever it is and know, hey, my group plan takes care of these parts of the insurance for me. So little pieces like that especially help the individuals who are in that very small business category, right?
Yeah, and I guess the biggest myth out there for sure is the cost, right? It's
Yes.
like they think it's just going to be so expensive, right? So, but there's a lot of ways to structure your cost too, because like you say, copay, right? Because you can say 50-50,
Mhm.
and then because lots of times if like there's very few plans that are 100% paid by
Yeah.
especially in extended benefits, right?
Yeah, well, the beautiful thing is you have the option as the employer. You have 4 staff. You're going through different plan designs, which has a direct impact on your pricing. We can put a fairly comprehensive plan in place that offers, ticks all the boxes, but you don't need to start with the Cadillac, right? We can increase that 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road when we're doing the reviews of your program. Um, so what I find more often than not is the affordability is always there when we're customizing these plans. And then, yeah, there's tax benefits as well when it comes to how the premiums are paid for by the company. So,
And then there's tiers though too, because you can have the owners or shareholders having like 100% plan, and then you can have your senior staff at like 80, and then you can have your new hires at 50, and you can structure a whole bunch of different things, right?
definitely, yeah, the tier is very popular with, an owner's management class, staff classes where you can tweak the benefits and, offer different parts there. And I always say when I'm having discussions with businesses and owners, I always think it's a wise idea for owners to have that separate health spending account because it can just sit there. It doesn't add anything to your monthly premium, but it allows them to expense additional health or dental expenses through their company, get received personally, but then also have that corporate tax benefit, right, where they can write it off through their company every year. So, I mean, for someone like yourself who maybe is familiar with that because of the way your plan's set up with here, I mean, it's just important because, the benefit plan is going to offer you X amount per year, whether it be 300 massage, 1,000 dental, but to know you have $10,000 additional you could run through your company every year for what's important to you, at least it reimburses you personally if you're already spending those expenses out of pocket, right?
Yeah, some of the benefits too is like that are covered. Obviously, the extended health, which includes chiro, podiatrist, RMT.
Yeah, there's about 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah, there's a few things. The naturopath.
Yeah.
I'm like blanking a little bit here.
It might massage, physio, chiropractor, naturopath, osteopath, podiatrist. Yeah. I mean, there's about 8 or 9 of them there. So, and it's always per specialty, right? So, it's very common businesses. Those, when you're looking at plans with businesses, it's always, well, usually starts at 300, goes up to 500. The more employees you have on a plan, this is maybe why some businesses think they can't offer benefits. The more employees that are on a plan, traditionally what happens is carriers are able to accommodate you and provide a more robust plan.
Right.
So maybe you can get to the $1,000 per practitioner or $750.
Yeah.
And with that, I always say, well, keep in mind, these are the most heavily used benefits.
Extended health. Yeah.
So if staff are all using these, when we review your plan, that's what's going to be affecting your premiums. It's the plan usage, right? So, just bridging back to my point on the health spending account, yes, the corporation ends up paying for that for employees as they use it as well, but at least that's not affecting your claims experience and your premiums. You can kind of control and expect what will be spent through the plan.
And then drugs is a big one because those are the unexpected ones usually when somebody has like an illness or something like that, and then all of a sudden, if you had to pay for it yourself, some of these pharmaceuticals can be very expensive, and
They can.
having that copay or 100% coverage or whatever on some of these drugs is so important, right?
Yeah, and you usually cap it like $1,000, $3,000, $10,000, whatever it may be. Again, that's going to have a direct impact on your premiums. But usually, what happens is an employee benefit plan, the extended health benefit, the prescription drug coverage, is only meant to cover you up into a certain amount,
There's
right?
that fair pharmacare.
Exactly. Yeah. So usually, what happens is once you hit your family deductible, if that's $2,500 out of pocket or $1,000, it's based on your income. That's when that fair pharmacare kicks in, and usually the government should sit. That's more of like, you have an ongoing prescription that's more expensive, or you do have an illness that requires you to have an ongoing, higher cost prescription. Fair pharmacare would commonly kick in and be covering those prescriptions at 70% for the remainder of that year. So the good news is there, protects the, the claims going through the plan one, but it's a good government incentive, to cover those costs.
And glasses is obviously another one. Prescription, you can kind of set how much you're going to pay a year.
Yeah. Commonly not the most robust parts of the plan, just standardly at 200. Some carriers can go to 350 where.
Oh, you can go get some cheap glasses these days.
I used to wear glasses, I know. So I got the laser eye surgery about 3 years ago, and that was a great decision. But yeah, what is it, $1,000 for a good pair of glasses?
Well, it depends on where you go. Like I really only need readers, and I found that if I just go get readers now at like $5 a shot, they're just as good as the glasses because I don't really only need them when I'm reading.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, because I used to pay like these, they were, like probably they start, they kind of trick you. They start you at, like $200, and then you want to put glass in them, then that's more. And then if you want anti-reflective, and if you want this, and you want that.
I was
Next thing
told
you know,
I'll
it's
need the readers in my 50s, so I'll be there and I'll be buying all the $5 pairs. That's for sure.
yeah. It's like I really only wear them when I'm reading, but like if you get these glasses, and you get, they just kind of keep marking you up as you go along.
Of course.
But there's places that you can shop. There you can go to some of the big box stores. You can go to some of the local. You know what I mean? You can do different things. There's
Oh, absolutely.
specialty places, so you can shop. If fashion is the most important thing to you, then obviously you're going to pay more. If it's just utilitarian, then you're going to pay less.
Yeah.
George Costanza wore what was it on the show there? He wore his racquetball glasses. So,
That's a good look.
it
They're
depends
good for
on what
sport
you want, right?
and
So
business.
A lot of people really mix it with fashion, right? I get a
Yeah.
lot of grief. I wear these a lot of times, and people call me Sally Jesse Raphael or something like that.
Hey, they're pretty stylish. They're good for $5. There you go.
Well, these aren't $5.
I
These
know.
are the expensive ones.
Oh, that's
These are the expensive ones.
yeah. But no, I mean, that's just a very small part of the plan. Of course, vision's important. A lot of businesses want it. But then again, if you only have $200, well, that's when we're problem solving, saying, well, let's get that health spending account attached to the plan, $350 or $500. That makes up for that extra, right? Where
Right.
employees have that freedom to put it towards those things that
Yeah,
are most
so
important to them.
obviously that the glasses, the drugs, the extended health, and then the dental. Obviously, that's one too. And then there is, I think, the government's offering some kind of like dental as well.
Yeah,
these
they're
days, but
low-income families, so like 90,000 or less. They're allowing you to have, some dental coverage there. So seen that come through, and I know we discussed that. I mean, I think it was last year, but no, it's still there, and it definitely has its importance. I can see it for a lot of individuals that aren't on a group plan that can go to the dental
I
office
think
and
you
have
got
that
to get
coverage,
into
right?
that gig because we did the news story that's $497 million to administer that plan for 2 years.
Yeah,
Not for providing the dental plan.
yeah, that's big
I know you don't want to
dollars.
get political, but can you do it? Like, why do you say I'll do it for $250?
Yeah, let's go down that road.
I'll
See
do
how
that.
that goes.
I'll do that for $250 million. I'll save the government half, and I'll do
Well, it
$250.
has brought up a decent amount of questions, especially when it's a little bit newer, and I won't get too into it, but can we remove the dental benefit? And it's like, honestly, I wouldn't. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? The coverage you're going to get under this plan, I'm pretty confident is more robust than what you're
Comprehensive,
getting
yeah.
offered
and you're
there.
not getting like they used to do that old Domino's 2-for-1 pizza.
Yeah.
The commercial where it's just like 2 for 1, and they just shake the cheese off the one.
And who knows? And I've seen there's commercials on it now. It's it's gained its traction, but who knows how long it sticks? And we'll see what happens in the future, right? But I don't really let it interfere with the coverage businesses offer for dental and so on and so forth. Yeah.
What's the most expensive part of the plan usually? Like when you're looking at this, is extended health? Is that the?
Yeah, I mean, interchangeably, it could be extended health and dental, depending on the level of coverage, right? Though that's the majority. That's the bulk of the cost. Even if you're offering everything where you have critical illness, so the cancers, the heart attacks, strokes for your health, and the short-term and long-term disability. I'm finding historically the extended health and dental are going to have maybe the largest part of the premiums attached to them, but again, it's nothing that I think is going to scare businesses away, but they're offering the most meat of the plan. You know what I mean? The extended health, it's, you could go very in depth to what's included there. And the dental, of course, you could get 100% coverage for basic where, you're not paying anything when you get a cleaning.
Yeah.
You show them your number, it's direct bill to the company, and you walk out of there without paying anything, right? And crowns and bridges and,
And lots of flexibility. That's why it's worth sitting down with you, because there's that cost plus plan too, right? So it's just cost plus 10, right?
And exactly, yeah. So that's the admin fee, the 10 that you're referring to. Essentially, whenever you set up a cost plus or health spending account, it's not just whatever the claims are. There's always an admin fee on that. So if you have $100, if an employee has $100 massage, it's $110 to the company, right?
But then you have a lot more flexibility into, you can say they have a cap of X or whatever to spend wherever they want too.
Yeah, exactly. Just coming back to what we started with today, those myths and misconceptions. Well, benefits are only for big companies. They're too expensive. We have contracted employees. We don't have enough employees. All those things that's just a good conversation to have, because no, we can absolutely, dangle around those and still have a plan set up for your business, even if you have 3, 2, 1 employees, whatever it may be.
And do you also integrate in there like an RSP savings plan as well?
Yep, we
Where you
definitely
can
do.
like, it could be a copay too, where the company kicks in or matches or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are becoming more popular. Just another tool for retention, right? It kind of helps you bring them in for more long term if you want them to plan for their retirement and
Right.
put a percentage of their pay towards an
And
RSP.
you can put that into any account. You don't have to be an RSP though. You can put it into TFSA or
Yeah,
anything,
you
just a
could. I
matching
mean, there's
plan,
different
right?
ones you would set it up with
Yeah.
where it would most likely go to their fund and their
Right.
investments, and it would be,
Because it's taxed at source, and then it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter where it ends up, right?
but of course you could manage it. There's a lot of them just kind of put them in the retirement fund and let it grow that way. But if you're the type of person who's educated on RSPs and investments, you could manage your own as well,
Yeah.
which that option's always there. So
Yeah. TFSAs, RSPs, whatever vehicle, RESPs, like
Yeah.
whatever you want to dump in.
and our office, I mean, we're very, very heavy in the benefit space. It takes up a lot of our time. So when it does come to the RSPs, yes, we facilitate it, but we do have other people in the community that we kind of lean on for that, and partners that are really educated in that space. So
Right, that do the management of the.
yeah, exactly.
Better than Uncle Louie, anyway.
Don't pretend you know things. Deal with the people who know the things for sure.
You're not an expert in everything, right?
Exactly.
Anything else? Any other myths out there?
No, I mean, just really hitting those basic ones head
Yeah.
on, right? Because it's things that come up often. So if they come up often with businesses in this community, maybe other businesses have thought of it, and if they can see this or just know that, hey, it's just a conversation and ways we can work around it, and there's lots of affordable plans that can be customized that I think would benefit you and your employees, and it's a tool that's going to give you that competitive edge, right? So that's really the
And I think the
majority of it.
easiest thing to do is just have that conversation because there's no obligation, right? Just sit down. You'll come by. You'll
Yeah.
tell them, hey, just what's going on. What are
Absolutely.
you trying to do?
Definitely.
And then what's the budget? And then you can offer some alternatives.
Coffee and a chat.
Coffee
all
and
it
chat.
is.
Yeah, there you go. And then you have at least you have the information.
Exactly. And you're armed and dangerous.
And you have the information, and then and I know that it is one of the bigger concerns for lots of people when they're looking for like a longer term employment too. Right? And obviously, if you're hiring temporary staff in the summer, seasonal stuff, it's not a good idea to be going in and out, in and out, in and out. Right?
Oh yeah, you just don't want. I mean, small businesses like what we've been discussing, that turnover, the cost of hiring that employee again,
Yeah.
putting them through your training regime, the time commitment. It's just you'd rather do it right the first time around.
So how do they get a hold of you?
Well, lots of ways. Call the office. You can reach out to me. I think there's something on the screen we usually show.
We'll do something. We'll put it underneath there too.
But
in
yeah,
the story, right? And then TD benefits.
we've been in the community a long time. We do the chamber plan exclusively. We operate as a full-on brokerage as well. We just want to have discussions with businesses and let them know that we're here to help them if it's something that they want to look into.
And hey, you're a heck of a golfer. If anybody wants to go out and golf, you pay for your golf, and then you go out there and discuss benefits.
Thanks for setting the bar high. Because we'll probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not bad at all either, though.
Yeah. Every now and then hit one decent one, right?
Yeah, well, that's what brings
That's
you
what
back.
golf is, right?
That's what brings you back.
I just went out
It's a love
recently, and
hate.
I was golfing at Gallagher's, and I hadn't been out for a while. I mean, it's been like weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And I haven't golfed that much this year, and in golfing, you get paired with somebody, and then you're paired with these, couple guys, and they were pretty good. And I was just like, the short stuff wasn't bad, but the drives were just, it was just like a
Spraying.
absolute like gong show.
Yeah.
and then
The day-to-day can
and then
just
the
be like,
last hole, 18, I just said, you know what, heck with it. I'm just gonna hit it as hard as I can. Absolutely just blast it. And it's the best shot I ever had on 18 at Gallagher's. I think I was only 60 yards from the pin. It like straight down the middle of the fairway, right? And
Swing.
now all of a sudden you think, hey,
swing hard more
I gotta
often.
come back, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. After a drive like that, well, what time can we make a tee time tomorrow?
That's right. Let's go around again.
Yeah.
But, so even the guys were like, because like this one guy, young buck, there was like just blasting the ball,
Oh man.
and
Yeah.
and I was just, and all of a sudden
It's all the
this old
smaller,
guy just
smaller
blasted,
men.
and then all of a sudden they're just like, holy, and I put it past, probably 50 yards past both of theirs, and they were just like, wow.
Wow.
But I mean, that was like probably the perfect hit. The wind, everything. I think a bird came along, grabbed it, and just dropped
Dropped it
out
right
there.
by the pin.
yeah.
So
That's all you need
did you
is
birdie the hole?
No, the second shot. I
Wow.
took a beaver tail out. Must have been that big.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I dug
that's
a
the
trench
standard.
because I was just like, there you go. We're gonna just put this because usually on the pitching wedge, I'm good. Like
Yeah,
you know, like
that's a
that.
standard perfect drive and boom, beaver tail.
Just like
Pro
just,
shot scald.
Like I mean, I think I dug down that deep.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing, but
No, that's
I
great.
wanted to make sure I hit that ball clean. Anyway, that's our show for today. Golf tips, I'm giving those. Those are free.
Yeah. You got to contact Jim for the golf tips.
There you go. Thank you for watching Now Media.